I'm a little bit confused by this title. It is, what if I told you America is a small country? From all the videos I've seen, I know America's absolutely massive. Really interested to see where we're going to go with this. See why America is a small country. Aside to get into this, before we do, appreciate if you guys can hit that subscribe button. Let's see why America is a small country.
I'm Lawrence Brown, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond. And one of those memos pertains to size. Okay. Specifically, the size of our countries. Speaking of size, I'd love to one day reach 1 million subscribers, so if you're not yet subscribed...
Bro, where are we going to go with this? Because we know America is literally, what, 50 times as big as the UK? No, probably not 50, but you know what? Like, it's massive, bro.
Subscribe to this channel, do that now.
It probably is 50.
Just recently, I was doing some of the never-ending chores around the house when I started to think about maps.
Right.
But don't worry, this is just something that happens to me from time to time. For instance, I might be having a shower and out of nowhere, I'll suddenly think something like, oh, the US state of Virginia looks exactly like an Imperial Star Destroyer slightly. And I know what you're thinking. Ooh, Lawrence, why would a British person care about the shape of US states? And the answer to that is twofold. Number one, I am in fact a US citizen these days. And number two, I've no idea. What I do know is that it all started a long time ago in a country far, far away.
In Great Britannia.
Long-time fans, dare we even say die-hard fans of this channel will know that as a kid, I was absolutely obsessed with A, maps, and B, maps of the United States.
Okay.
Yes, you've all heard the story about how I accidentally stole this book from my...
Yeah, yo, go into this map. Go into this map. Look how big it is. So how are you going to tell me? What reasons do you have to tell me that America's a small country? It's massive.
Yes, you've all heard the story about how I accidentally stole this book from my English school library.
Oh, and I'm even forgetting America has Alaska, bro. Alaska's what? 10 times as bigger than the UK.
When I was about 12. What you haven't heard is that there was in fact another book that I read just as obsessively at about the same age, and that book is the Picture Atlas of the World.
Oh, I remember
that
book.
It was a very good way to learn all of the world capitals, but there was one country that piqued my interest more than any other, and that was the micronation of Tuvalu, but also the United States of America. And my interest in the US was so palpable at the time that I even came up with an order in which I'd visit all of the 50 states. And I do remember thinking, as a lot of British people tend to do, that, oh, look at that. We could do that in a day. America can't be that massive. And actually, as I sit here looking at...
You know what? Like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, before these videos, I actually didn't realize how big America was. So maybe he's gonna talk about, like, what he thought about actually before realizing. Because before, I thought America, like, I was stupid enough to think America all had the same weather. It was like, yeah, not as big as what it is, bro.
At this book for the first time in 30 years, I realized that young Lawrence was completely and utterly a little bit stupid, but not entirely.
Same here.
I mean, sure, there might be 11 states larger than the UK. The Great Lakes combined might be able to say the same, and it might take 2 whole days to drive from San Francisco to New York without stopping.
Jesus.
But as a kid who just saw shapes on a page, I didn't have any sense for any of this. And under the right context, neither do I, the human version of Lawrence.
Right.
Let me explain. Yes, America is massive, and it can take 100 million years just to drive through one state. But sometimes there are cheat codes for these things. For instance, about 20 years ago, I did get to visit the state of Maine, but this was all part of a whirlwind vacation in which I started in New York City. But once we'd seen that big statue with the book and the torch, Statue of Liberty, my girlfriend suggested, why don't we go up to the state of Maine? Because that's where I'm from and you can meet my family. That was daunting. My only question at the time was, excitedly, how many states do we pass through on the way? New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Maine. That makes 5.
Okay,
5 states. Wow, that's going to take ages. When you said let's go up there, you do mean by plane, right? Wrong. We're going to catch Greyhound. And while I never want to take Greyhound again, credit where credit's due, the bus journey took nowhere near the 48 hours that I predicted in my stupid little head. It was actually something like 5 hours, an hour in each state. Because one of the cheat codes that America has is the East Coast. Because a lot of those states are quite small, certainly smaller than some of those that you'd encounter.
Wait, yo, yeah, no. Yo, this title is crazy though, bro. I see where you're going with this. Like, you got from this state to that state in 5 hours, right? You could probably cross the whole... You can definitely cross the whole of the UK in 5 hours. You could definitely get far in the UK in 5 hours, bro. Right? But that don't mean America as a whole is a small country, bro. America is ginormous, mate.
West of the Mississippi. And so with this being my first grown-up experience of America, it reinforced this idea that you could see the whole country in a day. I've now lived here for 15 years. I've since learned that if you took the Grand Canyon and put it in England, you could stretch it all the way from Brighton to Liverpool. But that doesn't stop this really jarring feeling that
Wait, is it actually that big? The Grand Canyon alone would go from Brighton to Liverpool? Oh, no. Bro, that's massive.
You get when you drive through multiple states in 5 minutes. Another example that happened to me just 2 years ago when I visited Pennsylvania for the first time. My wife and I spent hours and hours and hours and hours of car time driving through the state of Pennsylvania before arriving in Philadelphia. But just toward the end of this vacation, we made a little detour to go and see some friends in Baltimore. And I was really excited about this because I'd get to check off an entirely new state that I'd never visited.
Wait, yeah, that's crazy, bro. Like, to think that in America, you could be driving hours and hours and hours and you're in the same state, bro. Like, yo, in the UK, you are passing many cities with hours and hours and hours.
Not Maryland. Delaware. That's right, as we're driving along, oh, look at that. Welcome to Delaware. Just to make it official, we stopped off in Wilmington, hopped back in the car, got on the road, and within what seemed like 20 seconds, but was probably 15 minutes, we then saw a sign that said, welcome to Maryland. Bye, Delaware. See you later. And you're probably watching this and thinking, yeah, that is a cheat code, Lawrence. Everybody knows that the states up in that eastern corridor are much smaller.
Right.
Is that all you've got? No. Of course it's not. I'm British. I come from a long...
Wait, I see what he's done here. He's trying to make America seem smaller than what it actually is by just comparing the small states. Hey, talk about Texas, bro. Have a drive through Texas, bro. Let me know, because you guys tell me some crazy drive times over there.
Line of people whose detective work requires multiple sources of evidence and catchphrases. Panhandles, and my British audience is probably thinking, why is he talking about kitchen implements? Okay. I'm not. America has this phenomenon just built into its geography called panhandles, right? That's when you have a strip of land within a state's border that's shaped somewhat like a panhandle. And they're really long and protruding, and you're probably thinking, if they're really long and protruding, doesn't that sort of undermine the premise of this video? And I can see...
Do you know what this video should actually be called? It should actually be called Cheat Codes to Travel States Quick. That's what it should be. Because that's what he's doing. He's telling you, like, you can get from a state to state really quick and do multiple states in a matter of, you know, an hour.
See where you're coming from with that hypothetical question.
That's because you're on the edge.
My actual answer is just good. Because it's not about the length of the panhandle, and that's not a euphemism. Okay. It's about the width. Because these panhandles are quite sleek, you might find yourselves enacting the panhandle cheat code in which you drive through multiple states in a very short amount of time. This is something that happened to me in Idaho. Actually, let me rephrase that. It half happened to me in Idaho, and the other half occurred in a dream sequence that never came to fruition. Basically, even though those states that are west of the Mississippi are absolutely gigantic, there is a route that means that your vehicle could be in the state of Washington, Idaho, and Montana within the short space of an hour and a half.
Hey, listen, I got a cheat code. Bro, isn't there the states where you got the 4 corners, right? Like, it's all perfect 4 lined up, and then there's a road where it's... You guys will know what I'm on about. Can't you just go there, and then you're in 4 states at once? Bro, you know, 5 minutes. You pick them all.
The Montana part was the dream sequence. I never got there. And that might not seem too weird for those of you who know how Idaho is shaped, but I take that as valid. A weirder one for me, which my head just can't wrap its head around, is further south, right? Texas. Famously, the second largest state in America. You're driving through it, let's say from Houston all the way up into the Texas Panhandle. The Texas Panhandle is notable for being a large rectangle consisting of many smaller rectangles. What could be more American than that? But you're driving along the second biggest state in America, and it just seems to take forever. But then you end up in the small town of Stratford, Texas. And this is a quite delicious place to be because you find yourself about to take advantage of the absolute mother of panhandle panhandle warp whistles.
Okay.
But that warp whistle isn't the Texas panhandle, it is the much coveted Oklahoma panhandle. Basically, from Stratford, Texas, there is a route to Elkhart, Kansas that magically takes you through 5 massive states in about 3 hours. Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Colorado, and Kansas. So, who says...
Yo, bro, but listen, you just contradicted this whole statement of America. I know this title's a joke. Obviously, it's a joke, right? But yo, you're telling me this is 5 hours. You're telling me this is 5 hours. Bro, if you show me... If this was like a map of the UK, this would be 20 minutes. 5 hours? Bro, you'd have to zoom out a lot. You'd have to see the whole UK for the line.
Kansas. So, who says the West
America's
is big?
so
and in
big,
hindsight,
bro.
I bet Thelma and Louise are kicking themselves for not checking that off their list. And finally, one other cheat code that makes America seem like a country that you could visit in one day pertains to circles. And I can hear you right now. Lawrence, you previously told us that America is entirely made up of rectangles and that there can be no deviation from this system. Well, yeah, but that's why these are cheat codes. One pretty famous cheat code that involves circles can be found at the center of 4 states. Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Arizona.
Wait. This is the 4-state corner, right? Or circle or whatever.
Because at that very spot, there's a touristy intersection in which the borders of all 4 states meet and you can run a circle around it in a matter of seconds.
Oh,
cool.
So not even minutes. You can visit 4 states in seconds. Yeah, America's small.
The gimmicky one. My favorite one is located a bit closer to where I live. This is what I call the pinwheel state. That's where you start in Cairo, yes, Cairo, Illinois. Drive down to Blytheville, Arkansas, taking in Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, and Arkansas, all within the space of 2.5 hours, or half an hour per state. Not sure there are too many tourist hotspots along that route, but if you are willing to add another hour to your journey, you could visit the place where Kentucky gets separated from the rest of Kentucky. Anyway, I hope that this...
Oh, yeah, these kind of places trip me out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we don't have any like this in the UK. But you know when like a state is disconnected from a state and in between it's a different state? Yo, that'd be trippy. Because imagine like your family lives in Kentucky, but you got to travel, is this Montana or Tennessee, to go to Kentucky?
Anyway, I hope that this video was helpful to anybody else that is in the niche.
Hey, fun video. I was really interested to see where he was going to go with this, saying America's small. He's just basically just throwing cheat codes out there where you can travel multiple states and make it seem like it's small. But America's absolutely massive, bro. It is massive. But good video, enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed as well. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. I'm live every single day on twitch.tv/L3WG. If you guys want to check me out there, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.